Welcome back to Variety Homestead. Thank you for visiting today. So, today's story is true. The names were not changed to protect the innocent. There are no innocent here. We are saved by grace, but we're not innocent. What you're going to look at is what happens when a garden goes bad over the winter and you don't do anything to it over the winter, and it looks pretty rough. However, we are prepared for this eventuality. It happens every year, and we are happy to get out there and do the work because there's a lot of satisfaction in bringing something up, getting things in the ground, watching them grow. Pulling weeds is not fun, but it is one of those necessary parts of everything that we have to do. So enjoy the video if you so desire. Hit the like button. If you have a mind to, hit the subscribe button and enjoy the next few minutes. Thanks again for visiting Variety Homestead. So this is what the winter garden or what the winter has done to the garden. And I'm going to give you a little brief tour to let you know how frustrating it can be when you set up a garden and then you get weeds everywhere. It's a beautiful mid-March morning, and so you see a lot of weeds starting to grow or starting to green up again. And this used to be our tomato plants here, and over on the down there, I'll walk over there in a second, and we're going to have to cut all those down, and we're actually going to move these, I think. I don't remember. I have to look at the plan. Over here you see our bins. So we had 6 of these bins, and these bins we've harvested garlic and onions out of these 2. And these 2, by the way, are the only 2. They're the last ones we put in. They're the only 2 that are going to survive. These are 4x8 bins made with 2x12s. So coming down here, you see, if you look at the bottom of that bin, you can see that those are 2 2x6s together, and it looks like we got some cool stuff coming up in here. But you see where this stuff died out over the winter, and these are onions that decided to take hold. And look at all that stuff, man, up against the fence and all this stuff out here. These are more tomatoes. These are a different variety of tomatoes. These are some, I don't remember the whole name of them. Debbie does. These are some German variety of tomatoes. And I'm going to tell you something, right off the vine, these things were outstanding. And we've got what used to be some okra plants here. And of course they have, it's all bit the dust. I used to have compost over here. Now I've got it outside the fence. You may be able to see it there. And all of this is going to have to be reworked. And this happens to us every year. So if you're really stressed out over how bad the weeds get and how it turns out to be such a lot of work, it just is a lot of work. Now, I'm going to come back after we take care of this. There's a bin, the end bin down here. That's obviously going to have to go away. These are really rotted out. These have been out here for 5 years, and these are really rotted out. So I'm going to take all of these apart and basically till up all this ground and go away from the bins, except for those 2 bins down there on the end. Those are going to be replanted with onions and garlic, and then we're gonna have we've had really good luck with those. In fact, out of most of these bins, except for this last one over here, which is almost completely submerged into the weeds, but I'm gonna have to clear all this out, and it is gonna be a huge amount of work. But again, we have to do that every year. That's this part of the garden. So as you see, there's a greenhouse here that we got a couple of years ago, and It was then, I think it was like 600 bucks. It's a 6x8 greenhouse. And sometimes Debbie starts stuff in here, and sometimes she just uses it as a work area, because it does get cold enough here that without some sort of heat in the late winter and really early spring, stuff won't survive out here. Even in broad sunlight, it's a pain, and we lose stuff every time. And so, folks, we haven't figured out how to do a greenhouse, but this is a 6x8, and it's meeting our needs so far. Over here, you got just a little shelter that I put out here to put bales of straw into. Be careful when you plant not to use hay, because hay will go to seed if it's got any seeds in it, and then you'll start growing hay in your garden. But use straw. You can use that to cover the ground after you do it. Over here is these 3 trellises that I built using hog panels. As you can see, hog panels, and these are 16-foot hog panels with 6-foot T-posts. And then I took the clips that you can get with the T-post, which I'm gonna zoom in on one here so you can see it. These clips will go around there to secure that. And this actually did an excellent job. For the last couple of years, we have been using these for our green beans, and we've had a tremendous harvest. We're actually gonna move these over to the other part that I was showing you. And we're gonna plant potatoes, a couple different varieties of potatoes in here, and coming around the trellises. This is the last part of the garden, and we had cukes there, and they did okay. We didn't plant a lot of cukes because we have so many that Debbie pickled up that it's just, I mean, we just didn't need them. It was just a lot. And if you look on the ground here, you can see mulch that we put down. Out here in the county, there's a company that does landscaping, and they offered free delivery of where they mulch up trees. It's a tree service, and we had a truckload, and I mean a big truckload, delivered. That's what's left of it, but we used a lot of it in the garden, used it in various places around here, and it will rot. It's hardwood mostly, but there is some pine mulch in there too. It was whatever you got, so it was free, and we took it. Here you see what's left of the fall garden from last fall. We've got some cabbages. All of this actually got hurt and eaten. You can see there's a cabbage there, a little cabbage, and some of them that are trying to make a try. I don't know. Maybe we'll yank one of those and see what they do. We love cabbage, and kale and collards. We did harvest quite a bit. We harvest the leaves, and we don't just cut the whole plant down. So actually during the growing part of the cabbage or kale and collards, you can actually get 2 or 3 harvests off of it if you just don't cut the plant down. And what we'll do is we'll just cut this down and then till all this stuff up, which is getting ready to happen here in the next couple of weekends, because our growing season, they say we're in 7B, and in 7B, and in our particular area, they say that April 15th is the date of average last frost. Well, we have gotten bit 2 years in a row, and we have for the last first couple of years we were out here, we went by that, and it trashed us. So what we ended up doing was waiting till May 1st, and that has worked out really well for us. So at any rate, this is how it looks early March, mid-March, on a beautiful, almost spring day, before we do anything to it for the spring planting. And then do the magic of video. The next time you see what we got going on here, you will see it tilled up, and you might see it already planted, but you'll definitely see it tilled up and prepared for us to do our spring planting.